Parents of Reddit, what is the craziest thing that you have found in your children teenager computers? Hardcore horse pee. But I'm not a parent. I found that on the computer the church donated to us when they upgraded. I think this was before Mr. Hands. It was like 2004. But no Mr. Hands there. Just lots of chicks fricking horses. Sucking the off and taking gigantic horse loads. I'm super glad I didn't develop a fetish from it. I want to know what hardcore horse pee looks like, but at the same time I really don't. My son moved out. He is 23 and lives in another town, making rent, living his life. I was repurposing his old laptop. There was a folder called I'm 18 this is legal now. In it was about a dozen pictures of women licking doorknobs. I have never asked him about it. Honestly, I think he did that just to frick with you. I would absolutely do something like that only if I move out anytime soon. I'm taking my computers with me. Ooh, or he likes knobs. I won't judge. I read a story about a woman who looked through her son's browsing history and found a search for stop looking through my history you nosy see. Absolute madman. A few years ago on my then 9-year-old son's iPad, I found a search history that was something like, when do boys and girls hold hands? When do boys kiss girls? Ginny and Harry Potter kissing. Do Ginny and Harry Potter kiss? Naked people. What is fricking? Do kids frick kids? Gulp. That escalated quickly. So it was time for two things. Part 1 of the talk and part 1 of the internet filters installs. Comma Ginny and Harry Potter kissing. Comma do Ginny and Harry Potter kiss? Someone's gonna be writing fan fiction when they're older. A paragraph written about twats but they called them potatoes. I keep trying to sound that word out but all I hear is potatoes. She was saving screenshots from some Princess Makeover game. The computer was extremely slow and started crashing. Why? There were several gigabytes of pictures of Disney princesses. Princesses everywhere. So many princesses that it almost killed the computer. So, yeah, we needed to clean it up. Then Kill the Princess became a hot game for a couple of days where she would sit there and decide which princesses would be deleted. Then the computer was crashing again. The trash bin of the computer filled with hundreds of new dead Disney princesses. She was playing the Makeover game but now just so she could save them and kill them. Oh Chucky. I was walking into the living room and all three of my boys, ages 10, 14, and 15, were gathered around the iPad, all being quiet, all very intent on what they were watching. They never get along this good. They do not have the same interests and they don't like the same movies or shows. Of course I think they are watching P or something. I sneak up behind them and they are watching videos of someone opening blind bags. Blind bags are little boxes or bags that have random characters. It could be Star Wars, anime, Disney or whatever. I quietly watched them for 30 minutes. I still don't know what to think of it. That's kinda cute tbh. My daughter had set up a GoFundMe account to raise money for emancipation from her abusive parents. Shoulder given her $20. I now hope that my parents have never bothered to check my computer. Oh, all the messed up webs. I'm really glad right now that the computer skills of mine don't go past can switch it on without help. When my brother was out I went on his laptop and was Skyping my friends. For some reason I ended up screen sharing his browser history. Found out my brother uploaded a P video of his girlfriend giving him a F. So that's always fun. Pics or it didn't happen bruh. My friend let her 12-year-old cousin on her computer. When she tried to use YouTube she found in the search history G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G G Gay P. Credit to them for trying real hard to disguise it. Well, it was my brother. He was out of town, and my sister-in-law had computer troubles with malware and I came over to help her see what's up. I had to download a few programs and had no clue where the files downloaded to. Did a search and the files were downloaded into a folder called NFL pitching statistics. He doesn't follow sports at all. I was like okay, and access the folder. The files were there, along with about 200 GBs of pregnant bondage P. The folder was located in the same folder as Dora Explorer cartoons folder for his 4 years daughter. Now that's a gutsy guy, I thought. Well, he fricked up when he put NFL pitching statistics. How about things on parental computers you're responsible for? One of my favorite things to do is frick with my mom's Amazon recommendations and cart. Thankfully she always checks her cart before she orders, so none of what I have selected for her has made it to her door. Here's a few samples of carts I have put together. The unofficial rules in my head dictate that I am allowed 3 items maximum. A Kindle book called Wesley Crusher, Teenage Frick Machine, AXXXL I Heart North Korea long sleeve shirt, stick on fake nipples, and a Christian guide to stop masturbating. A book on training aggressive dogs, 80 ounces of peanut butter, and an erotic BBW werewolf romance novel. Unfortunately she drew the line at sending samples of really strange and useless how-to manuals to her Kindle. A book on training aggressive dogs, 80 ounces of peanut butter, and an erotic BBW werewolf romance novel. This is the most hilarious thing I've read all week. I'm not the parent, but the teenager in this story. When I was about 13/14 or so, I was getting into P. I never liked watching it, I would just read erotica. This developed to going into chat rooms, and on hookup sites to talk to people. Nothing sinister, it was all just spank bank material. I actually didn't know how to master bait, so I would sit on my foot and kinda grind on it. Anyway, so I sign up to this website one afternoon, some swinging dating site thing. I would literally just go, explore, talk to a stranger, and then disappear into the wilderness never to visit again. So I started talking to this couple, under the name Deadwood. They're like middle-aged. I realized after the search was actually done by location, so they must have lived close to me. They didn't have a picture, neither did I. I always said I was 21. We engaged in a little steamy exchange. I sent pictures, which were just nudes I had found on Google. I got off, and away I went. Some days later, my dad signs onto his online poker or some crap, and I see his username, Deadwood. I was like, huh, weird coincidence. Then later that day I start snooping, and found the pictures that I had sent this couple in my dad's folder. So I kinda had a brief obscene exchange with my parents and now have a very slight incest fetish. That was just a whole world of confusion. I've never found anything particularly crazy inside my children, or in their teenage computers. Pictures of cartoon frogs. Homework, honest to God completed assignments. Not a parent, but I started teaching recently at a post-school study center and I was shocked by the amount of 10-year-olds, girls and boys, that know what RedTube is and actually use it. They also drop terms like shamail, strap-on and stuff like that as if they were talking about Pokemon. It really disturbs me because I don't remember knowing stuff like that at their age. I knew only how babies are done. You clearly never experience bone. My mom found my CS Go skins. Not sure if that counts. Not a parent, but I entered my 9-year-old sister's Minecraft world and found my family's and my sister's favorite YouTube stars' graves in there. You should have added a Herobrine grave just to mess with her. I know I'd have done the same to my little sister. Then again, I'm a horrible brother. I was once at a family friend's house. Said friend was having a huge party. It's around 10 PM and I'm bored, so I decide to see if the friend's child, who is 6, has any interesting games on their tablet. Keep in mind that I'm still a teenager. The 6-year-old is asleep, so I go on the tablet. I notice it has Firefox, so I decide to see if I could watch a video on YouTube or something. I type in the L, the first letter of the vid I wanted to watch, and I see lesbian mom fricks daughter in the recommended tab. This wasn't the only P link either. This means either the dad was using it or a 6-year-old was watching lesbian incest P. My year-old son and 11-year-old daughter exchanged Pokemon P anime in their phones for a while. I've never mentioned it, but they are still teenagers. Peanut butter and mellow yellow. My 9-year-old nephew had a search for debauchery P on his tablet. My brother claims he doesn't use it, but he's exactly the type of guy into debauchery P. A virus from a video game S. I was house sitting for my aunt and I used my cousin's computer. I decided to go to DeviantArt and my cousin was still logged in. His page was full of cartoon inflation fetish drawings. When my son, 9, borrows my phone, I get it back with about 100 selfies of him pretending to be John Cena, usually an extra item or two added to my Amazon cart, and a few new Google search results for things like world's biggest jellyfish and can I die from eating all the jelly beans. I figure in a few years it'll be all boobs. My 4-year-old, yes, 4, is obsessed with YouTube, as she is logged in under my Google account. I get to look at her recently watched list from her tablet usage on my smartphone. She started out watching Kinder Eggs, Play-Doh tutorials, Cookie Swirl C's LPS Shopkins videos, and creepy MLP gore vids, but then found weird Five Nights at Freddy's videos, forcing me to download the games for her. Now FNAF themed videos are all that pops up on the YouTube dashboard. The most ridiculous ones are the FNAF characters dancing Gangnam Style, or doing the dance moves to watch me doing the nay nay lol. The most annoying ones were compilations of the various jump scares, so you basically hear loud screaming sounds every 5 seconds. Please stop it while you can. I'm obviously not a parent, but my parents thought I was watching P or something when I was like 12 or 13 because my laptop kept crashing and Avast kept popping up with random viruses. I never watched P on my laptop, and I had no idea what that was. I figured out later on that the virus were coming from the TPPC RPG ads when I used to play the game years ago. I didn't have virus. The ads were just hosted on malicious domains. I had no idea about it. I still don't know if my parents really think I was watching P so much my computer bricked itself or not. Not my kid's computer, but my own. Also not anyone else's file, but my own. There's a series of folders on my desktop titled things like don't open this and stop the last 2 are you're in for something very spooky and alright, you asked for IT, followed by an image of a skeleton with a corncob named open up frick boy IT's about to get spooky, not somebody else's drawing, but my own. I don't know when or why I made it, but I've just left it on my desktop as a joke. Doot. Not a parent, but I saw my brother with a rat kit on his computer. Turned out he was just using it to troll parents. A Unix system on mine. Do kids not know about internet history or how to delete it? Right, Kalena, it's that easy. When my daughter was 2 she figured out how to use the iPad. She could turn it on, unlock it, find the YouTube app, and play whatever kid videos were suggested. One day I'm in the kitchen and I hear some heavy metal music blasting. I walked over to her and she was sitting there, sucking her thumb, and on the iPad was an image of a dismembered corpse. Think album cover, with death metal blasting. I promptly deleted the YouTube app. As a 80s thrash metal fan, this gives me hope. Mom found my gay fanfiction when I was 15. She never mentioned it, but it was mysteriously deleted and she looked at me weird for a few days. But she was the one to ask me if I was gay before I had the chance to come out, so it all worked out. Mom found this in my search history. How much blood is in the human body? I was curious, because I saw some dumb vampire movie and they said a body was completely drained. I wanted to know how much blood the vamp drank. The average is 1.5 gallons, I think. Another question. Why are you parents going into your children's computers? Old man voice. Back in my day there was only one computer in the whole house. I'm no parent, but I was updating the Doctor Who Wikia site while my mother was ironing clothes behind me. The page in question relates to an episode of the Sarah Jane Adventures, titled The Gift, and was submitting an image for the spores from the plant given to the titular character. Suffice to say, my mother didn't know what I was doing at the time and questioned why I had an image of a guy's character Luke Smith, open mouth, saved in my photos, completely ignoring the number of spores in the foreground that were actually in focus. Anyone who's seen the episode would know that Luke unknowingly inhales these spores through his mouth. Just to put things in context. I love that episode. I miss the Sarah Jane Adventures so much. My daughter is only 5 but she takes my phone on me all the time. I found a photo in my phone of a booger-filled nose that belonged to her brother. I got a serious talking to after they found my search history. Some of what I was looking at was illegal, but age appropriate if that makes sense. And my parents told me that they could get in serious legal trouble if it was found. So I stopped looking at that stuff and started looking at pics of girls who were not age appropriate and in way more hardcore situations. IT guy here. We found large number of pornographic pic from one of our client laptop. To make the matter even worse, some with his wife. Please do not save pornographic on company computer. Nothing. Incognito is something we advocate in our home. You have been visited by the holy doggo. Like and subscribe, you magnificent person.